Hi everyone and welcome to Medicine for the Soul. My name's Allie and today we will be moving through Tuesday twists. Let's get started. Alright yogis, let's get started. So today you have two options. You can join me in seated or you can come down onto your back for a more restorative approach. I'm going to stay seated. Wherever you are, try and find a comfortable position, whether that means lying down on your back with the feet out long, arms out by their sides, or maybe you come to a seated position, spine is long, hands can come down to the lap or maybe place down to the knees. We're going to go ahead and close down the eyes. And as you close down the eyes, I want you to take a deep breath in through the nose. Let it pass through the mouth. That's all you have to do right now is focus on your breath. Let's take another deep breath in together on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Let it go. We will be moving through a lot of twists today. That is really the main focus of the class, moving through some twists. Twists are known to be a detoxifier for the body. So not only is it great to move your body in this Vinyasa style flow, you're also doing something to benefit your mind and body. And as always, a reminder is to be gentle to yourself and know that you do not have to push yourself past your limit. To show compassion towards your body and meet yourself where you are at right now. If you are lying down on your back, slowly bring the knees into the chest, hugging them in. Maybe you rock from side to side. In your own time, let's meet in a seated position, Sukhasana. Now you can choose to keep the eyes closed or maybe open the eyes and keep a soft gaze. And we are going to do our very first twist of the class. Don't worry, I'm not gonna go all in right now. I promise it's an easy one. So you're gonna take your right arm up and reach it up towards the sky. Your left arm is going to go behind you, kind of like a tent pole. It's going to help you stay lifted. You're going to take that right arm and place it down on your left knee and see how your body automatically starts to twist towards the left. That's what we want. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Find length through the spine, and then as you exhale, you're going to twist open towards the left. With every inhale, I want you to imagine your spine growing longer and longer. With every exhale, that is your chance to twist. As you contract your stomach with your exhale, that is when you twist. We're starting off slow, giving the body a chance to tell you how it's feeling. If there are any parts that are screaming at you right now, take them into account as we move through the class. Go ahead and come back through center. We're going to repeat the same thing. So your left arm is going to reach up towards the sky. Right hand is going to tent behind your back on the ground. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Go ahead and place that left hand on your right knee, and then you're going to twist open towards the right. Take a deep breath in. Breath out, maybe twist open a little bit more. Nothing crazy. Just trying to gauge how your spine is feeling. Maybe you're sore in your abdomen. Gaining information about how you're feeling. Go ahead and come back through center, and we're just going to take a forward fold over our Sukhasana legs. So before we fold forward though, I'm going to ask you to cross your non-dominant leg in front. So typically we always put our right leg in front. So just take that right leg and switch it out with your left. It might feel a little funky. You're going to reach those arms up overhead like you're a ballerina. Take a deep breath in. Breath out. Go ahead and fold over those legs, allowing yourself to come to any sort of stopping point that you feel. We're getting into the hips. I'm trying to prepare us for some lunges and some child's poses, which those can be pretty intense if you live in a tight body. So hopefully this helps. Staying here for another breath. And then as you inhale, you're going to make your way back up to seated, seeing how those hips feel right now. And we're going to go into a tabletop position facing the front of your mat. So those wrist creases are going to want to line up underneath the shoulders. Those knees are going to want to line up underneath the hips. You can tuck or untuck the toes, it's up to you. And as you inhale, you're going to drop that belly arching through the spine, gaze lifts, sits bones lift up high for cow pose. And as you exhale, chin tucks in towards the chest, pressing and rounding through the spine for cat. Take an inhale for that cow pose. And exhale for cat. One more like that. All good things come in threes. And then exhale for cat pose. Coming back into that neutral spine, we're going to go ahead and lift our right arm up high for an open twist. And then as you exhale, you're going to thread that right hand through that space behind your left wrist crease and knee, allowing that right cheek to come down onto the mat. And if you don't feel anything here, you can go ahead and take that left arm and swing it out in front of you. So you're going to reach it long, really feeling that stretch across the side body here. And if you want to focus on opening out the chest, you can always take a bind with that left hand, reaching for the crease of the inner thigh and hip area. And if you want an extra balance challenge, something that I've discovered recently is you're going to want to try and shift your weight onto your right knee. And then you're going to try and straighten that left leg back, tucking the toes. See how that feels. Try and keep those hips level. And wherever you are, we're going to come back to our starting position. So maybe you put that knee back down on the mat, unwrap the arm. We're going to press into the left hand, coming out the same way that we came in. So as you inhale, reach that right arm up high for that twist. And then exhale, place it back down to meet the left. Let's take a round of cat-cow to cleanse the palate before we move forward. Inhale as you drop that belly, gaze lifts up, sits bones lift up towards the sky. And then exhale, chin tucks in towards your chest, round and curl. And coming back to neutral. And you guessed it, we're gonna do it on the other side. So go ahead and lift that left arm up high towards the sky. Maybe gaze looks up towards your left thumb. And then we're gonna thread that through. So just really placing that left arm through that right keyhole we got going on, and then allowing the left cheek to come down onto the mat. Taking any modifications that you did on the first side, so maybe reaching that right arm forward. Take that half bind. Maybe you shift your weight into your left knee area and send that right foot back, tucking the toes, trying to keep those hips level like headlights for a little added balance challenge. Go ahead and coming back to our starting position, releasing that knee back down to the ground, unraveling, placing that right hand down, and we're going to press into the right hand, lifting up the left for that twist, and then placing it back down to meet the right. One round of cat-cows in your own breath, and we'll come back to that neutral spine. All right, coming back to that neutral spine, you're gonna go ahead and tuck the toes, lift the knees, and send them up and back. We're now in our first Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take 3 full breaths here to get comfortable. Maybe you walk out your dog, swaying the hips. Maybe you lift a leg, whatever feels best. 2 more breaths. All right, bring that downward dog back to stillness. Come up onto your high tippy toes, deep bend in the knees, look forward at the top of your mat, and walk your feet to meet your hands, coming into a forward fold. Feet can be hips width apart if that feels better for you. Taking a deep bend in the knees here, bringing your belly down towards your thighs. So you want that belly to thigh connection because that's what really promotes flexibility. I feel like I always say this, but it's true. Don't be afraid to bend your knees. Relax your head, relax your neck. Maybe you grab opposite elbows and sway side to side. And on your next inhale, we're going to lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Hands can come onto those shins or blocks. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, come all the way up to standing. Reach those arms up overhead for mountain pose. Bring the ribs in and tuck those outer hips in towards your midline, igniting the core here. Hands come down to your heart center. All right, so we are going to flow through just one Surya A to get the body moving. So as you inhale, reach those arms back up overhead for mountain pose. Exhale, swan dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant those hands, step your feet back to a high plank. Take an inhale as you shift forward over your wrists. Exhale as you lower down halfway. Inhale for your choice of back bend. That can be up dog or cobra. And then exhale,
using your core to bring you up and back into downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Inhale, high tippy toes, deep bend the knees, step or float to meet your hands. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale lifts you up halfway. Exhale folds you back down. Inhale, reach those arms up overhead as you come up for mountain pose. And then exhale, those hands come down by their sides, palms facing forward, Tadasana. We're gonna make our way back into downward facing dog. One last vinyasa, I promise. Well, no promises. As you inhale, reach those arms up overhead. And as you exhale, swan dive forward, forward fold. We were just here. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha. Exhale, hands to plant, step those feet back into a plank. And moving through your vinyasa of choice, whether that's lowering down halfway or all the way. Whether that's taking cobra or up dog. And we'll all meet back in downward facing dog for a breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale as you reach your right leg high, keeping your hips square. We don't want to open the hips here. And then as you exhale, quietly step that right foot in between the hands. Option here to lower down the knee, but you can also leave it up. I'm going to leave it down lowered for today. Untucking those toes. Inhale as you reach those arms up overhead, Anjaneyasana. Try and engage your core here. We don't want to dump into the spine and the belly. So try to imagine that your ribs are moving in towards your belly button. Good. Bring your hands down to prayer. And we're going to hook our left elbow over our right knee. So coming forward, take a deep breath in. Breath out is when you twist. Left elbow to right knee. Hands in that prayer position. And if you are having your back knee down, option to tuck the toes and lift that back knee up for a second. Hold and breathe. And then as you inhale, you're going to become heavy in your right foot. Then as you exhale, try and step that left foot up to meet the right in a chair twist. So keeping those knees bent, weight is in the heels, twisting still. Take an inhale, bring those hands back to center, and then exhale, release down, forward fold, straightening out those legs. Whew. Inhale lifts you up halfway. Exhale, plant those hands, moving through your vinyasa or just coming straight back to downward facing dog, shifting forward, lowering down halfway, lifting yourself up into that back bend. And we'll all meet in downward facing dog. All right, left leg lifts up high towards the sky, keeping those hips square, pointing or flexing through the feet. And then quietly stepping the left foot in between the hands. Dropping down that back knee, untucking the back toes. Inhale as you lift those arms up overhead, Anjaneyasana. Breathe. Bring those hands in a prayer position in front of your heart. Leaning forward a little bit. Take a breath in. Breath out, right elbow hooks over left knee, and we're going to twist together. And maybe if you have your back knee down, try and tuck those toes and lift up that back knee, powering up through the right leg. Breathe. You know where we're going next. We're going to step into that chair twist. In 3, 2, 1, step into that chair twist. Keep your knees bent. Weight is still in those heels. Twist open towards the left. You got this. Hold. Maybe you can sit down an inch lower. I'm making you hold this. Bring those hands back to center. And then release into Uttanasana, forward fold. Maybe grab opposite elbows, swaying from side to side. Inhale lifts you up halfway. Exhale, fold back down. Plant those hands, step back into a plank, and we're gonna hold our plank, static hold. You get to choose to be up on your hands or your elbows if your wrists are sensitive. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift those hips up and back into downward facing dog. Good. All right, we're going to repeat that and add on just a little bit. So as you inhale, reach that right leg up and back. As you exhale, step it between the hands. This time I encourage you to lift your knee up. Keep it lifted up as you come up into lunge. Reach those arms up overhead, squaring your hips like headlights towards the front of the room. Hands come into that prayer position, and you know where we're going, we're going to twist. So leaning forward as you inhale, and then as you exhale, twist, hooking that left elbow over the right knee. Now, if you're tired of this prayer twist stuff, you can always come up a little bit so that your shoulders are over your hips and open out your arms like wings. Bit more of a balance challenge here. All right, you're gonna go ahead and cartwheel your left arm down towards the mat. So it's like you're taking a twist here in this lunge position, except we're gonna send you into Vashisthasana side plank. So try and see if you can keep your arms open like wings as you transition onto the knife blade edge of your left foot, bringing your right foot to stack on top, keeping your hips lifted. Breathe. You can always come down onto your knee. Take a deep breath in, breath out. Go ahead and place both hands down onto the mat. We're going to hold this plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in with me. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. All right, we've only got 2 legs, so that's a blessing in this case, right? Inhale reaches that left leg up high to the sky. Exhale as you step that foot in between the hands, preparing for that high lunge. Lift those arms up overhead. Remember to square your hips. Try not to flare your ribs out too much. If you used to be a dancer, that's like the opposite of what you're told to do normally. And we're going to bring those hands into a prayer position, lifting forward, lengthening forward. Take a deep breath in, breath out. Right elbow hooks over left knee, prayer twist. Try and stay strong in that back leg. And maybe, if you're sick of those prayer twists, you can come up into a more revolved lunge here. So you're going to keep your shoulders over your hips here, twisting open towards the left, remaining strong in that back leg. You're going to release that right hand down towards the mat, keeping that shape of the lunge in your legs, keeping that wingspan open if you took that. Transitioning into Vashisthasana on the right side here. So you're going to come onto the knife blade edge of that right leg and swing your left leg on top of your right, opening the arms out, keeping those hips lifted. You got this. Holding and breathing. You're doing so good. We're almost there. And then go ahead and release your left hand down to meet the right, and oh, we're holding a plank. Except there's an added challenge here. You're going to shift forward and lower down halfway into chaturanga. Hold, and then push back up. Hold this plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hips lift up and back, downward facing dog. Whew! Go ahead and come up onto your high tippy toes, deep bend in the knees, and allow them to place down into the mat at the exact same time. Hips come onto the heels, hands collect in the lap. Collect your breath, closing down the eyes. We are entering our cool down portion. You've made it through the hard stuff. Slowly flutter open the eyes, keeping a soft gaze. Come onto your seat. Reach those legs out in front of you. And before we come down onto our backs, we're just going to take one last little core pose, Navasana boat pose. So we're going to move the fleshy parts from underneath the sits bones here and bending the knees, keeping the heels on the mat. Leaning back with the upper body until you start to feel your core ignite. Now you can stay here. Maybe you lift a leg up so that your shin is parallel with the mat below you. Maybe you lift another leg up. Maybe you bring your hands out in front of you. Still engaging that core, we're still leaning back. Maybe you straighten a leg if that's in your wheelhouse. Breathe, hold it. And we're going to come down onto our backs in 3, 2, 1. Try and lower down as slow as you can. Coming down onto our back. Great. All right, Shavasana is near. Just go ahead and bring those knees in towards the chest, hugging them in. We're going to do some quick supine twists. So the next time your knees fall over towards the right, bent as they are, just allow them to fall all the way over towards the ground. Feeling that twist. And as you inhale, bring those knees back through center. And then exhale, bring them over towards the left for a twist. One last time, bring those knees back through center, hugging them in. And then allow your legs to stretch out long in front of you. Release everything. Allow those arms to stretch out long as well. Closing down the eyes as there is nothing left to see here.